Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel Stats Wizard. In the previous video, we have seen the calculation of arithmetic mean for discrete series using shortcut method as well as direct method. Hope you understand that video. In today's class, we are going to learn the calculation of mean for continuous series, that is when class interval and frequency are given. Now let us take an example. From the following data, calculate the mean profits. So here profits per shop as well as number of shops are given. So profits per shop is given in terms of class interval 100 to 200. There are 10 number of shops which belong to the profit range from 100 to 200, and 18 shops belong to the profit range 200 to 300. 20 shops belong to the profit range 300 to 400, and so on. So this is the class interval and frequency type question which is continuous series we are going to solve now. First let us write the formula for calculating continuous series using direct method. The formula is x bar is equal to summation f into m divided by capital N. In case of discrete series, the direct method formula was x bar is equal to summation f into x divided by capital N. There we have used x because x values and frequency values are given. But here in place of x we are using m because x values are not given. They have given class interval. So now that class interval we have to take the midpoint out of it and calculate. Okay, I'll show you how to do this. First let us prepare the chart. So as usual we'll write down the class interval which is given and the frequency. So class interval is given as 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, 400 to 500, 500 to 600, 600 to 700, and the last class interval is 700 to 800, and the frequencies given are 10, 18, 20, 26, 30, 28 and 18. So these are the frequency values which are given. So we have noted down the class interval and frequency which are given in the question. Now as per the formula I need Fm. So before to that first I need to calculate M, that is midpoint of class interval. Now how to calculate this midpoint of class interval? There is a formula to calculate midpoint of class interval, that is upper limit of the class interval plus lower limit of the class interval divided by 2. Once again I am repeating, to calculate the midpoint of class interval you have to use a formula upper limit of class interval plus lower limit of class interval divided by 2. Now what is upper limit of class interval? Now you can observe the first class interval given is 100 to 200. So 100 is called the lower limit of the class interval and 200 is called the upper limit of the class interval. So upper limit of the class interval is 200 plus lower limit of the class interval is 100 divided by 2. So that is 300 divided by 2 is 150. So this is our midpoint of class interval. So this is how the midpoint of class interval should be calculated. Hope you are clear. Upper limit of the class interval plus lower limit of the class interval divided by 2 gives you the midpoint of class interval. Now we have to continue calculating for all the class intervals. So first class interval you have already got it, that is 150. Second midpoint of class interval 300 plus 200 divided by 2. 300 plus 200 is 500. 500 divided by 2 is 250. Third one 400 plus 300. 700. 700 divided by 2 is 350. Next class interval 500 plus 400, that is 900. 900 divided by 2 is 450. Next 600 plus 500, that is 1100. 1100 divided by 2 is 550. 700 plus 600 is 1300. 1300 divided by 2 is 650. Last class interval 800 plus 700 is 1500 divided by 2 is 750. So this is how the midpoint of class interval should be calculated, by adding upper limit of class interval plus lower limit of class interval divided by 2. Now once we got the midpoint of class interval, now I have to multiply f into m, because in the formula I need fm. So multiply the frequency values with midpoint of class interval, that is 10 into 150 is 1500, 18 into 250 is 4500, 20 into 350 is 7000, 26 into 450 is 11,700, 30 into 550 is 16,500, 28 into 650 is 18,200, and 18 into 750 is 13,500. So these are my FM values, that is multiplying each value of frequency with the midpoint of class interval which you have calculated. Now what is there in the formula? Summation FM. So take the total. So if you add all the FM values, will get summation FM. So if you add 1500 plus 4500 plus 7000 plus 11700 plus 16500 plus 18200 plus 13500 gives you the value 72,900. So this is the summation FM value. Now as per the formula, x bar is equal to summation FM. I got summation FM value. In the denominator I have n. What is capital N? Total of frequency. So capital N is total of frequency. Add all the values of frequency. 10 plus 18 plus 20 plus 26 plus 30 plus 28 plus 18. So the total comes up to 150. This is the capital N value. Now I got all the values, so I can directly calculate x bar. So x bar is equal to summation f into m divided by capital N. So summation fm value is 72,900 divided by capital N value is 150. Therefore 72,900 divided by 150 is 486. So this is the mean value for calculating continuous series using direct method. Okay. Now taking the same example, we will calculate the same problem using shortcut method. What is the formula for shortcut method? X bar is equal to A plus, formula remains same, summation F into D divided by capital N. Okay, so this formula remains same for discrete method as well as continuous method, shortcut method formula. But the only difference is, in case of discrete series, We have used d is equal to x minus a, but here we are using d is equal to m minus a. So this is the difference between the two series, discrete series as well as continuous series. Now once again, we'll prepare the chart. So class interval, frequency, I'm writing as it is. Class interval is 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, 400 to 500, 500 to 600. It is not mandate that every time you have to prepare the chart again and again. The same above chart only you can continue adding d value as well as fd. Okay. Since I don't have space, I am showing it here. Separately, I am preparing the chart. The last class interval is 700 to 800. And the frequency values are 10, 18, 20, 26, 30, 28 as well as 18. Now as usual, my calculation continues. I have to calculate midpoint of class interval because in the formula D we have m minus a. So that is understood that we have to calculate midpoint of class interval. Already we have calculated, I am writing the same thing. 150, 250, 350, 450, 550, 650 and 750. So these are the midpoints of class interval. Now in the formula I need f into d, but before to that first I have to calculate d. D is equal to m minus a. Once again I am repeating, here d is not x minus a because x values are not given. So it is m minus a. Now this m itself should be treated as x values. Okay. Now how we used to calculate d is equal to x minus a? Instead of x, we have to treat it as m here. Now we have to identify a. A is nothing but your assumed mean. Assumed mean is any value which is taken out of x values, given x values. Okay, here x is not given, so we have calculated midpoint. So from any values of the midpoint, we have to consider one value which should be taken as assumed mean. So here I've taken a is equal to 450. Again I am repeating, it is not mandated to take 450. You can take any value, either it is 150, 250, 350 or till 750. You can take any value out of given values of or calculated values of m. In case of x value, you have to choose any one value out of x. Since x values are not given, we have calculated midpoint. In that midpoint, we have to choose one value and should be taken as assumed mean. Now as usual, d is equal to m minus a. So 150 minus 450 is minus 300. 250 minus 450 is minus 200. 350 minus 450 is minus 100. 450 minus 450 is 0. 550 minus 450 is plus 100. 650 minus 450 is plus 200. 750 minus 450 is plus 300. So this is how d value should be calculated by subtracting m values with the assumed mean value. Now what is there in the formula? F into d. Now our next calculation is f into d. So multiply the frequency values with d value. Again be careful with the minus sign. 100 into minus 300 is minus 3000. 18 into minus 200 is minus 3600. 20 into minus 100 is minus 2000. 26 into 0 is 0. 30 into 100 is 3000. 28 into 200 is 5600. 18 into 300 is 5400. So this is the FD values. Multiply each value of frequency with the D values. Now I need summation FD. So take the total of this. Summation FD total is minus 3000 minus 3600 minus 2000 plus 0 plus 3000 plus 5600 plus 5400, and the total comes up to 5400. So this is your summation FD value. Once again I'll repeat the process. We have written class interval and frequency as it is, which is given in the question. We have found the midpoint of class interval. In the direct method I have shown how to calculate this midpoint. Now shortcut method formula is a x bar is equal to a plus summation FD divided by capital N. So I have calculated D value. In case of discrete series, shortcut method D is equal to x minus a, but here it is D is equal to m minus a because x values are not given. So midpoint of class interval should be treated as x value. Now I have taken assumed mean from any value of m. So I have assumed 450. Then I have calculated D by subtracting m minus a. Then I have multiplied frequency with D values and taken the total. I got summation FD. Now apply the formula. X bar is equal to capital A plus summation F into D divided by capital N. So x bar is equal to assumed mean, how much we have taken? 450 plus summation FD. Summation FD total we have got 5400 divided by capital N. So capital N is nothing but total of frequency. We have already calculated when we were solving direct method. It is 150. So capital N value is 150. Now x bar is equal to, keep this 450 as it is, plus 5400 divided by 150 is 36. So 450 plus 36 is 486. So this is our mean value using direct method for continuous series. So now we can observe here. So using direct method we have got the same answer, and using shortcut method also we have got the same answer. So this is how the mean should be calculated for continuous series using direct method as well as shortcut method. Now same problem we will take, and I'll show you how to solve this using step deviation method in my next video. Hope you understood this problem. If you have any doubts, kindly comment. If you understand the problem, please like and share with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel for further videos on the calculation of statistics. Thank you for watching.